The Portfolio Committee on Mineral Resources and Energy conducted an oversight visit to areas where there are illegal mining activities in Gauteng. There have been recent developments around illegal mining, and just this week 6 bodies were discovered near the Maraisburg off-ramp in an incident that is allegedly linked to illegal mining. Now, this comes after the horrific gang rape incident of 8 women in Krugersdorp. Sahlulele Luzipo is the Portfolio Committee on Minerals and Resources Chair. Thank you so much, Dada, for your time this evening. Let's start. I know you've also been to the Free State as well, but let's start with your reaction to incidents that we've seen linked to illegal mining. The latest in Gauteng being 6 bodies discovered near the Maraisburg off-ramp.
Look, it's quite a common phenomenon that we see these incidences, and unfortunately, any loss of life cannot be something that is justified. One of the things that obviously, by suspicion of police, is that in most cases you've got what we call turf wars amongst the groupings that are conducting illegal mining. But also there's an element where communities feel that they are now on their own and they have to do something out of the element of terrorization that they received from the illegal miners. So I think at this stage we want to wait for the police to give us a concrete information of what actually had happened and how such incidents have taken place.
And you talk about, the issue of turf wars, and we'll get to it in just a moment. Let's start with what you found on the ground as you were conducting these oversight visits.
Look, I think, like you said yesterday, we were in the Free State, Welcome to be specific. I think Welcome, they're doing very well. In fact, from 10,000 and at some point 5,000, they are now at 80 illegal miners that they are dealing with, the so-called Zamazamas. But there have been some shocking news that we're getting. For an example, when we were in Polokwane, the issues that they were raising there were almost the same like in Krugersdorp, that there is undeclared curfew that has been put, like they can't walk freely at 3 o'clock. They can't go to recreational areas like taverns and so forth because they get shot inside. What we got shocking was in Langlaagte today, where they were sharing with us that they can even hear voices underground. They can even hear the blasting, and the houses were cracking because of what is taking place. But also high caliber rifles that these people are carrying. And they say it is a very serious challenge, that it's a community that always live in fear. But what we think is critical is that when we were in Welcome, we think they have got a good basis, a cooperation between the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, police, Home Affairs, as well as the industry, that are taking a collective responsibility. And one of the things that they do what we call big backfilling, flattening the entire area, start to put in something that is completely new. And we think if that model can be looked at a national level, it may assist to some degree to address the issue of illegal mining. In one area where we went to again in Gauteng, here in Gauteng, we were quite impressed that the entire area that they flattened, now it is being used for property development, because the slab closures are not assisting at all. But there are issues then that will require that they go beyond just what the DMRE can do in terms of policing, in terms of undocumented. One issue that I think remains outstanding, and we said we have to engage our colleagues in justice and correctional services, is the fact that the sentences some of these people that are given are very light compared to the incidences that have taken place. But at the same time, in some cases, we're told that even in prison where these people are held, they are still treated in high esteemed individuals. because of the amount, in particular the kingpins. So those are some of the things that we think they need to be attended with extreme urgency.
And one of the things that we had here on the show after that incident near Maraisburg there in Langlaagte was that we spoke to a Zamazama who says that the issue here is, one, the turf wars, but at the same time they're fueled by what he calls the big fish, and says that police are not dealing with the big fish behind this particular illegal mining efforts. And until they deal with these big companies, they are not going to be able to stop these turf wars. Is that something that you also got on the ground, and is it something that the committee will also be following up on?
Look, it's true. In fact, what we received, I think we must be open on this and say there's a huge challenge, and we think police are doing, we must appreciate some of the men in blue who have stood under difficult circumstances. When you look at the number of police officers that have been arrested and there have been convictions, it actually says there is a collusion, even at the same time, between the men in blue and those kingpins. Two is that we look at the number of employees where there are active mining activities that also have been found guilty by courts. You look at incidences where we got a briefing that even the Defence Force, the South African National Defence Force, have got about 4 members of the National Defence Force that were found escorting those who were taking the gold from the Free State to Gauteng. So you do have a multidisciplinary challenge that it needs to be attended to. Yes, even if you were to arrest 1 million of what we call your toiling individual, which is the Zamazamas, if we are unable to deal with the upmarket, what we call level 4, level 5, those who are the ones that actually operate by converting the gold into what we would say it's for formal trading. One of the things that we were told we need to look at is this, what they call second-hand gold. And we think that it's something that, because they say when it is mixed with other gold material, it then becomes very difficult to detect the area of origin where it would have been mined. And we think this is one area that also we need to look at if it means that we put a legislation. So it will have to be taken in that context.
And I'm certain, of course, you'll even as a committee deal with those concerns about, from the communities, because having to have a self-imposed curfew also speaks to the issue of lawlessness at which some of these particular individuals are really operating in and almost getting a sense that there's impunity here.
Where we come from in Langlaagte, one of the things that the community had raised is that whether we like it or not, and we know that it might sound like it's populism, but the truth of the matter is that there's a declaration of war. High caliber rifle. In fact, we even received, and I'm sure we all know that 2 senior people from 2 countries that are neighboring us did say that some of the people that are found leading these Zamazamas are individuals that are needed in their own countries. Some of them are former members of the army in their own countries. Now, if you've got ordinary police officers that are trained on dealing with civil matters, civil arrest, it then means that when they meet individuals that are military trained, it may be something that is beyond their own scope. And that is why we said, if it needs, we must then call for the army in order to deal with this issue effectively. So must be. The point is, yes, we must respect human rights. We must advance human rights. We must respect our international commitments that we have made, in particular with our neighbors. But also South Africans are desperate. They are making a call for protection, and they want to feel that they are safe in their own areas where they reside in. Regardless who the individuals are coming from, let's treat, if there is a declaration of war against our people, then let it be the case, even if it is done by South Africans themselves. We think that the issue of illegal mining has reached a point where it now is a level where our people are absolutely hopelessness. They feel that they are helpless. No one is taking this issue in a manner that they are experiencing the trauma on a daily basis.
And it's definitely going to be important to address those issues of safety. Dr. Luzipo, before I let you go, I mean, South Africa now at stage 6 of the rolling blackouts. How do you respond?
Let's allow the president to attend on the matter. I think we must respect the highest office. But the truth of the matter is that, for me, the excuses, because these are not reasons, the excuses that Eskom is giving absolutely do not make any sense. I've always said we live in the world of IT. We talk about fourth industrial revolution. Why would you continue consistently to have problems, technical problems of maintenance? Because that's what Eskom is telling us. They are absolutely hopeless and helpless. They can no longer be able to assist in terms of maintenance of the entity, which is Eskom. There is no way you can tell me, sitting in this day and age, you can't have even something that rings to you that a particular unit is almost facing a particular threat. There are many things that I've listened when they are giving in, but maybe I'm too harsh. Maybe but for me, I've never understood the reasons why we are subjected to this kind. Clearly, to me, we've got a big crisis of poor leadership, but at the same time, we've got a big problem that if you were to address the problems of Eskom, many individuals will be living in a less wealthy and situation, because I think it's about accumulation. Whose question you must ask, why must we always be subjected to this kind of conditions? The business confidence is going down. As long as we are unable to address the crisis of electricity in this country, we will not be able to achieve our goals and objectives of ensuring that we grow the economy, we address the issues of unemployment, we address the issues of poverty, because electricity at the same time is too high, it's too expensive, it's unaffordable, but at the same time it's unavailable when it is needed most. From a utility that, in our view, it's not about electricity not being available. It's about maintenance and management of the institution.
All right, Dr. Luzipo, thank you so much for your time this evening. That was Sahlulele Luzipo, Portfolio Committee on Minerals and Resources and Energy.